Been such a pro. You've been there all week for us, reporting from Buenos Aires during this historic time. We're going to show some pictures now of you earlier in the week, the moment that Argentina won. You are covered in champagne, in beer. The celebrations have been ongoing for days. Tell us what this has been like for the people there celebrating this moment.
No, I mean, it's we've talked about it before. Like it's a 3-day celebration. It's a moment where the nation found a reason to be cheerful, and it's in hard contrast with the situation that Argentinians face every single day, with prices going up day by day because of the inflationary crisis that we are through all around the world following the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Salaries are going down. There's a cost of living crisis that is hitting the whole of South America, and Argentina is being hit particularly bad. But this triumph in Qatar that had been waited for so many years it's just been an occasion for the Argentinians to let it go, to put COVID-19, the lockdowns, the economic situation, the political polarization, all behind their backs, and just simply let the party start, because Argentina is right now at the top of the world, and here in Buenos Aires, it definitely feels on top of the world.
Yeah, just incredible scenes. If you can stand by for us, Stefano, we'll come back to you in just a moment. I want to bring in Andy Scholes again. We have been speaking about Magic Messi breaking records. He's also breaking records on social media, on Instagram.
Yeah, Messi, he has 400 million plus Instagram followers. I mean, that's how popular he is around the world. And he posted after winning the World Cup, it is now the most liked post by a sports figure of all time. It's got more than 62 million likes. Just think about that. That's a pretty incredible number, and it just speaks to how much Messi is revered around the world. And you look at him, 5'7", 150 pounds. He's not the tallest, or he's not the biggest, not the fastest.
But the best.
He's just the best, the most skilled one of the most skilled soccer players we've ever seen in our lifetime. And a lot of people are wondering now, what's next for Messi? Because
what is next?
He's actually he's a free agent come this summer. He can go anywhere he wants. Paris Saint-Germain says they would love to discuss an extension with him after the World Cup, is what they said. But there's rumors of him coming to the United States to play in the MLS. There was Inter Miami, some rumors during the World Cup. They kind of shot those down, but who knows? Messi's going to be 36 in June. He's entering the twilight of his career. He's done so much already there in Europe. Would he come to the United States to finish that career? And the World Cup, where is it next time in 2026?
Yeah.
It is in the United States, Mexico, and Canada.
Yeah.
Messi already said, this was his last World Cup. He'd be going out on top.
He still is so incredible.
He'd be 39. Would he do another one? Would he continue the victory tour all the way to another World Cup? I don't know. I would imagine he's going to go out on top.
He did say he will play more games in his national team's kit. He wants to play as a champion for Brazil. His teammates are going to get him to play in the next Copa America, which is just about a year and a half away, for Argentina rather. And then, once they're there, then you're just close to the next World Cup. So we'll see,
exactly.
Andy.
I don't know if he makes it that far. I could totally see Messi saying, this was such a high. There's no beating this. There is no beating winning the best game of all time in your last World Cup game.
Tom Brady could have left as a Super Bowl champ. Michael Jordan could have hung it up way sooner than he did.
I'm not saying he's never going to play soccer again. I'm just saying for the national team, this is just such a way to go out. You don't want to come back and have a disappointment, and then that's how you're remembered at the end. But that's just all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But getting this win, it's so special. I totally think Messi would love to go out in this moment for the national team. He'll play a few more victory tour games. I can't see another major tournament.
And with the most liked Instagram post ever. That's a pretty
winning on all levels.
We will continue to cover this. Andy Scholes, Koiwaya, so good to have you both on the set. Well, I want to go to some other news now. 9 members of US Congress have concluded their 17-month-long investigation into the January 6th attack on the Capitol, coming to one unshakable conclusion. Donald Trump is to blame, and he should stand trial for his crimes.
Ours is not a system of justice where foot soldiers go to jail and the masterminds and ringleaders get a free pass. We believe that the evidence described by my colleagues today and assembled throughout our hearings warrants a criminal referral of former President Donald J. Trump.
Well, the January 6th committee says the former U.S. president should face a criminal trial for 4 offenses, including defrauding the United States and aiding an insurrection. The big question right now is whether the U.S. Department of Justice will agree with the criminal referral and bring charges against Trump. Well, let's talk about all of this with CNN senior legal affairs correspondent Paula Reid. Good to have you with us, Paula. So we've got the summary of the report. When will we get the full report, and what are the next steps?
Well, the full report is expected to be released tomorrow, and then these referrals will ultimately land on the desk of Special Counsel Jack Smith, who has been working remotely from Europe since he was appointed to oversee multiple investigations related to former President Trump. And a source familiar with Smith's plans tells CNN that Special Counsel will be back in the U.S. by early January. And when he comes back, he will need to sort through some of the evidence that has been collected by the January 6th committee. And in their final hearing yesterday, it was clear that they wanted to keep the focus squarely on why they believe Smith and Attorney General Merrick Garland should hold the former president criminally responsible for what happened on January 6th.
We are prepared to share our findings with you.
In a historic hearing, lawmakers on the January 6th committee laid out why they believe the Justice Department should pursue at least 4 criminal charges against former President Trump.
President Trump lit the flame. He poured gasoline on the fire and sat by in the White House dining room for hours watching the fire burn. And today, he still continues to fan those flames.
Lawmakers concluded there is evidence of obstruction of an official proceeding, conspiracy to defraud the United States, false statements to the federal government, and inciting or assisting an insurrection.
The president's actions could certainly trigger other criminal violations.
The committee also released a summary of its final report Monday, describing in extensive detail how Trump tried to pressure anyone who wasn't willing to help him overturn his election defeat, while knowing that many of his claims were not true. The committee played previously unseen clips from interviews with top White House aides, like Hope Hicks, who shared what happened when she challenged Trump on his election lies.
I was becoming increasingly concerned that we were damaging his legacy. He said something along the lines of, nobody will care about my legacy if I lose. So that won't matter. The only thing that matters is winning.
The committee vice chairwoman believes these legal recommendations should also have political consequences.
No man who would behave that way at that moment in time can ever serve in any position of authority in our nation again. He is unfit for any office.
You know the old way.
In addition to Trump, lawmakers recommended his election attorney, John Eastman, on 2 counts, impeding an official proceeding and conspiring to defraud the United States. He was the author of a 2-page memo outlining what he said was a plan for then Vice President Mike Pence to block the certification of the presidential electoral count.
John Eastman admitted in advance of the 2020 election that Mike Pence could not lawfully refuse to count official electoral votes. But he nevertheless devised a meritless proposal.
In a statement, Eastman's lawyer dismissed the referral as the product of an absurdly partisan process. The committee also made ethics referrals against 4 GOP lawmakers who refused to comply with subpoenas for this investigation.
We are now referring 4 members of Congress for appropriate sanction by the House Ethics Committee for failure to comply with lawful subpoenas.
Trump's attorneys believe that prosecutors would face an uphill battle in proving that he did not believe the election was stolen, despite being told otherwise by members of his senior staff. They also believe that some of the evidence collected by this committee could help them prove that there was no premeditation on January 6th.
All right, Paula Reid, we'll leave it there for now. Great to have you on the story. Thank you.